And that's the trailer for Into the Farlands. I'm Jason, the president of SGDA.
I'm Anuj, the webmaster of SGDA, and we are here with the developer.
Hey everyone, my name is Kai Curry. I am the mastermind behind this. How's it going?
Awesome, it's good to have you here, Kai.
Thanks.
While you begin the game, we can ask the question of where are you calling in from and what school do you go to?
I graduated from Cal State Fullerton in December 2020. I am the only one on our team that's not currently in the Fullerton area. I just had to move after school. You know how graduating and needing to stay with your folks for a little while works.
Yeah.
I'm planning on moving back because I do miss the Fullerton area.
It's funny you mentioned that because I also just graduated and I'm also with my folks too.
Yeah, you know what's up.
So, you can get started with the game itself. We had a lot of fun with Into the Farlands. Tell us a little bit about the game, like how it got started, where you got the idea from, and how you put the team together.
So Into the Farlands was a game that I thought we would finish in about 6 months, and we've been working on it for over a year, and we're still expanding.
Yeah.
I kind of, when you're like on the drawing floor and you're pitching an idea, you're like, oh yeah, of course, like it'll have 30 features in it, and it can get finished as long as we hit our marks every single week. Of course, that's never the case, but we're having a lot of fun and we're learning a lot. So we're gonna continue expanding, and we have a Kickstarter up as well to try to raise money for future expansions.
We did, one thing that we really liked while we were playing the game was the sound effects. I think Megan put in chat that, like, sometimes the sound effects were a little bit too real. Like, in the video of the pot breaking, I was like, oh, did I drop something? No. How did the process of that go? Were those sound effects that you all generated, or were they licensed?
I would say the majority of them are made by myself. There was an ocean that we started off, and I recorded myself at the beach in the water. There's a swamp area where I actually had to crawl into my bathtub and kind of hold myself up by my arms and kind of kick my feet around to get the sound of water splashing that I wanted. The pot breaking was something we pulled off of Google, but everything in this game, from the assets to the coding, was done by hand by Cal State Fullerton students. So the long-term goal is to have the sound effects included, everything in-house. So I'm gonna have to sacrifice a piggy bank or something to get the sound.
So yeah, something. Like having these. I mean, they do have those places where you can go and destroy things for stress relief. So hey, maybe you could get 2 things out of that one.
Right.
having a bad coding day. I'd like to ask for you, what was your role in the team? And as part of that, what was the hardest part of development for you?
I am the project's leader, so I came up with the initial concepts. I recruited everybody. I'm also the lead 3D artist. So,
Hi, the art guy.
Yeah. So I actually got my degree in 3D modeling and animation and not programming. So I've had to consult YouTube University every single day as part of this project because I don't personally have a background in coding, but after the last year I can definitely call myself a coder.
Right. Because with animation in games, like you have to account for player movement, and that comes with coding. That comes with accounting for input and like making sure that things programmatically work.
Right.
I'm not an artist, but I did study programming, so that is something that's like come up in videos that I've watched when I'm like trying to learn some new skills for a game jam. Was there anything that you felt the team generally like had was there ever any like big roadblock, or was it manageable the whole time?
I think we're having an ongoing problem with feature creep, where we started off with a demo, like a 6-month demo, and we decided we wanted to expand, and we have a lot of really excellent ideas that everybody wants to add to the game, but I think we said I heard in a previous interview, it's just a matter of, do we have the time or the knowledge to implement everything into the time frame that we want?
Right. Definitely. What parts of the game are you the most proud of? And how has the game like changed over time? You mentioned that you've been adding more features. Was there anything that was like cut out from the game?
Yeah. So part of the the dialogue. So part of the feature creep, I pitched this game as a 1-year project initially, then I had to scope it down to fit the original 6-month deadline. And as of this May, we're working on it for over a year, and we're at the point now where we want to do a Steam release, so now we're going back to those original features and adding them to the game. So
right, kind of expanding it beyond expanding it, including features that maybe weren't able to make it for that 1-year timeline, but are more feasible for like long-term development.
Yeah, so now that we're past that kind of trial period, we are going back to the original concept and adding things to the game that we wanted before that we didn't have time to. Like this whole village area was pretty bare bones, but now we have more characters, we have like some lore as you talk to the NPCs around the village. Before there was just this kind of square with the flame in it that teleports you to the dungeon, but now we're like actually building up the village, so there's like levels to it, and more NPCs, and planning on having shops. So it's gonna be a whole thing. But
awesome.
In terms of what I'm most proud of, it's the dungeon. I feel like we spent the most time developing it, because as we could probably tell, it's a very combat-heavy game. So the dungeon kind of reflects the highlights of our combat system so far.
Kind of like traditional, dungeon crawling, getting down to the depths and challenges increase.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'd like to ask, why did you choose this setting over something else, like a stranded island, or stranded on a not deserted island?
Right. It's because my personal ancestry is African and Mesoamerican, and just growing up, there's no games like this that take place in like a Mesoamerican kind of Aztec setting. There's also a lack of African-based games, and my team is really diverse, and we wanted to create something that actually kind of reflects the geography and culture where we came from, because there's a lot to offer in terms of story and culture, and we're just kind of setting out to create what doesn't really exist yet, which is like a mainstream
Absolutely.
kind of like Mesoamerican or African like roguelike.
Looking at the architecture of the main building that was in the center, as well as just like the interiors of this dungeon, I do absolutely see that.
Yeah.
So I agree. Like I think that's really cool. I think that's like super unique too.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah.
With that, I
Definitely,
think
as we continue expanding, like we have all these deities from Aztec mythology that we want to add, and or villages that are like based on real world cultures. And one of the things we wanted to do, now that we're starting to have time, was every time you go into a village, there would be a different ceremony happening that would be based on a real world ceremony. Like, say you go into a village and there's a funeral going on, it would be based on how a real world culture would handle that kind of ceremony, not just made up.
so it's very much like a historical lens to this game as well. That's really cool. I like that a lot. It gives it a really unique flavor compared to other like roguelikes or exploration games, you know? Finish up this dungeon.
Yeah.
I did really enjoy the combat too. I've been playing Elden Ring as most people have recently, so that like dodge roll style of combat was really familiar to me right now.
How
With
far
that,
did you make it into the dungeon, if I might ask?
I got to the creep.
Right.
I lost. I lost pretty handily.
I've been coding this for so long, I'm just kind of used to the...
Yeah, you're used to level A on everything.
Oh, shit.
Oh, good job.
Oof.
That was really close.
And I think, yeah, this is the end of the dungeon. I don't know if I talked to this guy yet, but he was like right outside of the magic portal.
How did you get here? That's impressive. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, that was
Appreciate it.
Yeah. With that, I think that we are at the end of our time before we go to talk to our next game. But before we end up, is there anybody that you would like to shout out? Anybody that you'd like to kind of thank? Feel free to go ahead.
Yeah. So definitely shout out to my whole team. They've been killing it this last year, and every single one of us is available for work. So we have our own website, kcstudios.games.
We will put this in the...
Yeah, and everybody on the team, if you click on their picture, there's a link to their personal portfolio or LinkedIn. So I'm planning on adding screenshots of what everybody's contributed. So if you play the game and you're like, wow, I like how this enemy plays, or I like how this character looks, you can see who is responsible for that and reach out to them for business opportunities.
Awesome. I think we'll definitely be keeping an eye on that, as well as keeping an eye on the Kickstarter, which should be in chat.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. We really enjoyed Into the Farlands, and we cannot wait to see what the future of development looks like.
Thank you so much for watching. My name is Kai the Art Guy, and I'll see you later.